Are you ready for the Low Blows Network? It's the show where you control what's on the agenda. Ask us anything and we're bound to answer. Starring Rick Nash, Corporate King, and the Queen of Irish Wrestling, Lady Hardy. It's Ask Low Blows.
Right. So as you all know, there's no proper Low Blows podcast for fuck knows how long, because I don't know how long this whole wrestling stuff's going to be, or the coronavirus is going to have its hold, so this is going to be your only, am I right in saying the only Low Blows podcast for a while?
Like, in terms of Low Blows, yes. Like, there are talks about, like, other podcasts on the network doing some supplementary shows throughout it. We're waiting for people to get fingers out of holes, though, for that, so we'll see. But yeah, no, the only Low Blows, like, we won't have a flagship until we have enough of a show to be able to do, like.
Well, you're all incredibly unfortunate, but yeah, Rick basically told me that I have to do an intro, and he told me that he's going to violate the 2-kilometer radius to come to my house and beat the fuck out of me if I don't come with a proper intro. So, hi, I'm Corporate Cian. I am joined by Mr. Small Package Phil Boyd, the self-proclaimed queen of Irish wrestling, Katey Harvey, and Rick. Do you have a nickname?
No, just Rick, I think.
Nothing.
No, you can come up with something like you did for Phil and Katie, like, you know.
Oh, I didn't come with Mr. Small Package. That was already
the most general manager in the business. There you go.
Yeah. Well,
like, I'm not great. I'm just general. I'm generally grand. Like.
Generally grand, like Nash.
Just all right, like. Just generally manage, like, that's it. Like, it's how I deal with my life. It's like, how are you managing generally? Just generally managing.
So, this is our Slow Blows. Rick, what's the tagline? Say it.
It's the show you control. You're in charge, not you, Cian.
Yes.
Like them, the listener. You, the listener.
Yeah.
You don't seem as enthused
Well,
about that.
It's the show that you, the listener, control. So, yeah, let's just hop right into the questions. As evidence that it is you that controls the show. That was an intro. How would you rate that intro so far?
10 out of 10, you're nailing it. 5 stars.
Yeah.
5 stars.
The first question comes in from @Nolanoid4000. Seeing that a pandemic hasn't stopped them, what is the only possible way for Vince McMahon to cancel the shows? Virus says it's Cthulhu swallowing the performance center whole. Rick, what's Cthulhu?
I don't know. I reckon I googled it after he posted it. It's like a 1920s like noir book character, I think. I'd say it's probably a thing that like people are screaming at the show now, going, how do you not know what that is? I don't. I recognise the picture though. I'm like, oh, I'm vaguely familiar with that because it's like a guy with an octopus face. And I'm like, oh yeah. But then I'm wondering if I'm getting it confused with Professor Zoidberg from Futurama. So I don't know who Cthulhu is, but I'll take your word for it that he's a good swallower. No, I can't say that. That he'd do what you said he would do. I believe that. Yeah.
But do you think it'd be enough for Vince McMahon to stop running shows?
Like, if someone ate his performance center and like murdered all his employees, then yes, I would say. Well, no, they've got loads of money.
I don't think he would.
No, I think they go.
I think he'd keep running. I think they'd run it inside the stomach of whoever that is. I actually don't think they give up until literally like they don't exist in any form whatsoever. But Katey, what lengths do you think Vince would go to keep running shows?
I don't think he'll ever stop. Like, I think he might be a cyborg at this stage and he will never die and he will never stop running shows. If the pandemic hasn't stopped him. Like, it's insane. I can't believe that people are traveling. Like, people are going mad at Jerry Lawler for traveling for Raw. Like, he's had, like, 7 million heart attacks and is 7 million years old. He's still traveling to Florida to do, like, something that realistically could be done online.
Yeah.
Like, calling commentary. Like, it's crazy to me. I just...
Yeah.
I just feel sorry for actor Vince McMahon and actor Stephanie McMahon, as we touched on a few weeks ago.
That's a good point.
Instead, there's this guy sitting in the background forcing them to work. And that's what I feel sorry for. The on-screen Vince McMahon, not the corporate.
The real one is at home. Like, the real one is socially distancing. Like, the real one's like doing shows. Are you crazy? And it's the fake one who's like, "Oh, boss, come on." Oh, amazing! Yeah,
fucking, did you hear Donald Trump referring to the great Vince McMahon as one of his financial advisors now?
That's the worst endorsement he could get. Like, it's like, instead of, he sounds worse because that happened. Like, it's like, oh God, it's like, Jesus, is this the person whose company we're following? Like, holy shit! Like, yeah, that's not an endorsement you want.
Oh, an Ask Low Blows question coming in from at Corporate Cian. Is America real?
It's a fantastic TV show. If it's a TV show, it has me hooked. Like, I'm watching the shit out of it constantly. Like, so no, I'm into it. If it's not real, and I don't want to know if it's just like a big Truman Show. Just don't wake me up. I'm just like, don't smart me up. Just let me keep believing that America is real. You ruin wrestling for me. Don't ruin this for me, guys.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. Thanks for the question, Jonathan, by the way. At Ben the Given, with TEW 2020 on the horizon, hit me with the best thing you've ever fantasy booked. Katey, you've done, what's that, fucking fanfics, am I right in saying?
Yeah.
Does that involve fantasy booking, or am I getting mixed up?
No, fan fiction is where you just write stories using characters that have already been created in their world, or a different world, an alternate universe, an AU, if you will.
Yeah, that sounds like fantasy booking.
Yeah,
so what's your fantasy book? What's the best thing about a fantasy book?
I don't think I've ever told Phil I used to write fan fiction. And he definitely doesn't normally listen to me, so. I don't tend to fantasy book wrestling, so I'm very, very bad at it. I've suggested things and been openly laughed at. The only thing I do is play fantasy booker in the car on road trips, which is a very mean game. But no, it's not
a mean game. Like, you go, okay, like, you guys have done it. Like, all right, I run Raw, you run SmackDown, right? Who are you going to sign? Justy or Danny Butler? Like, Danny Butler, obviously.
It's just stuff like that. Sometimes it can get mean. So we had to put a rule in that you can't put anyone in the car into the fantasy booking game because feelings were getting hurt.
Brilliant.
This doesn't answer the question at all. I'm sorry. Phil's my fantasy booking.
I do fantasy booking all the
time. Do you want me to go?
Well, yeah. I mean, you played EWR, Rick. Am I right in saying?
Yeah.
Along with, of course, general manager of Fight Factory Pro Wrestling.
I can't remember. Yeah, that is fantasy booking, literally. Like, it's yeah. So, like, you were there for my favorite ever fantasy booking moment. You were actually there, and it involved when Katie Harvey was coming on the show. And the way we teased it originally was, and I remember this is what the most thing I was most proud of, because you marked the fuck out when I did this. Like, you were marking out like it was an actual wrestling match. Someone asked an Ask Low Blows question where I had to book a fight between all of the previous Low Blows hosts. And basically, Cian ended up it was an elimination match, a 5-way elimination, and Cian ended up beating Don in the end. And then, what was it? And then the end of it was, like, someone came out, Justy ended up interfering on behalf, and then, like, turned on Don, and then sided with Cian, and that's how Cian won. And then someone came out, like, in, like, this before anyone knew Katie was joining the show. Someone came out in, like, a cloak, and, like, revealed himself, but only to Justy as the new host of Low Blows, and then Justy started laughing, and it was like, and that was, and Cian knew who that was, and that's why he was marking out, because I didn't preface it as it was a teaser. We didn't even announce that there was a new host coming up. But yeah, I'll just never forget Cian actually marking out to just something I'd imagined in my head. Like, I was like, okay, right, that must have been pretty good. I'm like, it's a shame it didn't actually happen. For like Fight Factory or Courage or somewhere where it actually make a difference.
Fast forward over a year later, and it's significantly less cool now. But but at the time, it seemed like a cool idea, so I was like, yeah. The best thing I've ever fancy booked, right? So obviously, this goes back to videos. And if anybody was to ever ask me, and nobody has because nobody gives a shit, but what's like the hardest video I've had to make, like the longest video, the most I've put in, and normally a video takes me about 4 days to make, sometimes less, sometimes a bit more, whatever. It depends on the type, right? But this video was a fancy booking video that I did like 2 or 3 years ago now. And like, I wrote it on the bus to college. I fucking animated it badly, and that took ages. I fucking narrated it, and that took fucking ages. I had to edit it, and that took ages. It ended up taking 3 weeks to make.
Jesus.
And you might remember it. It was OTT versus the Alliance.
I remember this very well. Did you know we saw around a lot of group chats?
No way.
This age,
a lot of group chats.
Man, this video aged like fucking milk. Like CCW out of business, Pro Wrestling Ulster out of business. Like I went through it like that's what, like the video, it's on private now because I'm like, it doesn't age well. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my god, like some of the people like have mentioned in it, some of the like ideas, but at the time it actually was a legit like cut storyline. Like it was fucking like some of the plot twists and everything. But the reason it aged badly as well is I think I made it at the end of 2017, and if you look at the 2018 that OTT had, it's like, oh man, like what a year, you know what I mean? But if they had done this instead, it would have been so shit.
You know, forget Walter Devlin.
Yeah. Who needs Walter Devlin when you've got like Pastor William Weaver against fucking, I don't know, like Justy or something. That happened. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so it wasn't a good video, but it was at the same time. So I'm gonna put that as my best ever fancy booking.
Okay.
Thanks for the question, Ben. At Clueless Nerd, WWE are releasing a limited series on The Undertaker soon entitled The Last Ride. Do you think it's a good idea to give a look at the man behind the character, or do you think this could tarnish the gimmick in a way? I'll start with Rick. What do you think about Undertaker's, I don't know, what's the word? Gimmick being tarnished?
Yeah, like, I remember going mad about this when he started doing out-of-character interviews before he came back, because he was then coming back and being the Undertaker that we knew in the zombie gimmick, like, so I didn't like that. Now I like what they've done with the character. As of the Boneyard match, where he's kind of an amalgamation of that old gimmick, but also the American Badass, and he can be himself. They're referring to him as Mark Calloway on TV and acknowledging that he's married and all this is going on. I don't mind it because it's part of his character. It's not tarnishing that now. It's part of the storyline. Also, as well, I have a lot of faith in WWE documentaries after the Edge one that we spoke about last week. So I think they're going to do it well, and it's an interesting story with someone we haven't seen much behind the scenes. So I'm actually into this now, whereas I think a few months ago, maybe even just before WrestleMania, I wouldn't have been into it. But the character development they've done with The Undertaker means that they're not ruining his character by doing this, because now his character acknowledges that he has this life. So now it's just a chance to see how the Undertaker lives. The only thing that's kind of got me a bit nervous is the fact that I don't know if the Undertaker's a good person. So, like, I'd rather, like, not see the side of him that might be a bit ugly and just be able to appreciate the character itself. Whereas this might expose me to that. But also WWE are going to micromanage the shit out of that, so I don't think they're going to do it. If it was Dark Side the Ring covering The Undertaker, I'd shit myself, but it's a WWE documentary, so no, I think they'll do it in a way where it'll protect his character. So, no, I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be alright.
Katey, what do you think about an Undertaker documentary? Would that interest you at all? Do you think it would tarnish the fucking gimmick or whatever?
Like, I've never been a diehard Undertaker fan, but I did watch the sneak peek of it on the network, and what Rick said there last hits the nail completely on the head for me about him being a good person, because it was really interesting what they showed, and I was like, oh, I'd actually watch this. And then I realised he was wearing a Blue Lives Matter t-shirt, which in a lot of circles is construed to be very racist.
Right.
So what Blue Lives Matter thing is in response to Black Lives Matter, supporting the police basically, but a lot of people perceive it as racist because it's born out of like defending the black population in America and the unfair treatment they receive from the police.
Yeah.
So I was just watching it and I was like, oh, it's really interesting, and then I copped the t-shirt and I was like, oh, he's him. So yeah, it's such an iconic, legendary character. It's just, I don't think I want the curtain pulled back on Undertaker, and there's very few people I think about that, but I think he's one of the ones I don't really want to know. Even seeing him on like Michelle McCool's Instagram is weird for me.
Yeah.
He's one of the few people that I probably won't watch it now.
Interesting.
Like my stance on it is like I don't really mind. Like I don't think it tarnishes his character or anything like that. I think it's grand. Yeah, that's like a bit of an anticlimactic answer. But I think Rick and Katey kind of nailed it. Like, but yeah, thanks for the question, Adam. At Owen_Davis1 recently watched WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3 for the first time. What famous wrestling shows have you never seen? Katey, have you seen the entire WCW library, or what's the story?
I've seen a lot of it, not the entire library. There's a lot of WWE I'm missing because I only started watching it in 2000, or slightly before that, maybe 1999. But like coming up to WrestleMania, we were watching classic matches, and I watched Andre and Hogan in its entirety for the first time 2 weeks ago. I'd seen clips of the match. I'd never sat down and watched the whole match. Even the other day, Phil put on, what did we watch, Flair versus Macho Man Randy Savage?
Oh, yeah.
At Mania. I'd never seen the entire match either, because it was like, well. So I was like, I don't tend to go back and watch full older shows, but I'll cherry pick matches, or if someone recommends a match, I'll go back and watch it. So I'm sure I'm missing a lot of WWE.
She loved it, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, just spewing from her ears, earlobes, everything. Like, absolutely. And Mark Phil just buying up everything that they were selling. Like,
that works on me, and I love Miss Elizabeth, so I was just fully into it.
Oh, that match is so good as well. That's one of my faves. Like, it's just such an up and down match, and like it's so ridiculous, but you just go with it. Like you don't question it at any stage. You just go with all the ridiculous up and downs that they take you on because they're so buying into their characters. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of new classic shows I wouldn't have seen either. Again, I just cherry pick matches.
Yeah, that's fair.
Rick, what about you?
I'm a nerd. Like, I've seen like I think I've seen all of the big four pay-per-views. I think I've seen all of them. WrestleMania, I've seen every one, because like I used to do a thing. This is back when I was like young, and there was still enough WrestleMania. There still wasn't so much WrestleManias that it was possible to do. Where after the Royal Rumble, I'd watch all of the WrestleManias in the build-up to the new WrestleMania. Like, so like I've seen them all multiple times. The only ones I haven't seen multiple times are actually the recent years, because they're too long to be able to go back and watch in full again. And then I think I've seen all of the big four. Yeah, I think I've done all of that at some stage for one or the other. I used to get like, and this is all before the network as well. This is when it was difficult to do. I used to like get like DVDs pirated made like for me. I had a few hookups as well for that back in the day when you had to do that. So I probably still have them somewhere. One show that I've never seen that I really do want to see, because it's supposed to be one of the best wrestling shows ever. Is it Canadian Stampede? Is that the one that like everyone loves?
Yeah.
I think it's that. I think, yeah, that's the one I've never seen. It's like it's a show in Canada where WWE, like, it's supposed to still stand up today. WWE just decided to do a New Japan style show, but like it was still in the 90s and stuff. So, but they actually made it about wrestling, and the skill of wrestling. Just let the wrestlers go off the hook. So that's something I might watch over the next few weeks. Actually, I'll report back if I do. Also, as well, the early Wrestle Kingdoms for New Japan. I don't think a lot of people have seen all Wrestle Kingdom stuff, but I might go back and watch some old Wrestle Kingdom shows as well, just to kind of get up to scratch on that. Because I know a lot about it. Like I've looked it up because I'm interested in New Japan. But actually getting down and watching the full shows is something that I've never actually made time for. Now I have that time, so I might actually do it. Sorry, I nearly died there.
Well, I'm happy you didn't die. If that's any.
You just heard me catch the Rona, like Jesus Christ, live on air. Sorry.
Oh, nice. Yeah, what was I saying though? Oh, famous shows. Yeah. In terms of like old school shows, quite a lot. Like I haven't really watched that many like shows start to finish in full. Wrestlemania 3 is actually one of the very few that I have, because for some reason growing up I decided to get Wrestlemania 3, specifically Wrestlemania 3 on DVD. I think Zavi were doing a sale or some shit, so I was like, oh, Daly, Hogan, Andre, I've heard of it but I never watched it. So I've actually watched Wrestlemania 3 in full. But a lot of 80s wrestling, 90s wrestling, like you could take probably any full show and I more than likely haven't seen it. Yeah, WCW as well, ECW, like a lot of famous promotions and stuff from back then I wouldn't have seen full shows of. So yeah, thanks for the question, Owen. Okay, at TKenny2622. I'm actually really looking forward to this, right?
Oh, nice.
Queen versus Cian featuring Phil Boyd. Rick describes OTT cards and first to get to 3 wins. So
I might do well.
Yeah, this is an interesting one.
I've been no help either, because like I don't really go to OTT shows.
Yeah, right.
I've been going to a lot of OTTs, so I'm bad with names, so I don't know. We'll see. Let's go.
Right.
The very first show I've been around since.
I'm going on to their cage match. I'm just going to pull up a random card. Okay, and
that
so
means it's not going to be the most recent one.
What we need is I'm going to describe the card, and then what we need is the name of the card. I'm not going to be too strict on the number, unless we're talking like I haven't decided what I'm going to do, because I'm literally doing this now. But like unless we decide on like a Scrapper Mania. You'll need to name what Scrapper Mania was, or give at least like a good enough description like of it, where we know what you mean. But I'm not going to be too strict on years and stuff. So this card was in the Tivoli Theatre. It featured the Fabulous Nikki in the opening match. Katie Harvey was on this card.
Cian,
go for it.
The Walking Bantraxed?
It's not that. You're frozen out.
Katie.
Go for it.
A Matter of Pride.
It's not that.
Shit.
Damien Corvin was on this match in a singles match.
Oh, Katie.
You're okay, go.
I wrestled Zaya Brookside on this, I think.
You did not.
And it was... What?
No, you didn't. You're frozen out.
Why'd you say that question? She didn't even give an answer.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get to give an answer. You have to let me give an answer.
Okay, go for it then.
Okay, I'm going to say Born to be Wasted.
It's not that. You're frozen out. Cian. Next clue. The Ballymun Bruiser was on this card.
Oh, okay. So we're going back with this.
In the main event was a tag team match.
Is it Better Than Our Best?
It's not that.
Fuck.
Katie, you're back in the game, so now it's just open.
Is it Better Than Our Best?
It's not that. You're frozen out again.
Is it even Better Than Our Best?
It's not that. You're back in, Katie.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Paul Tracy was on this card, and he lost.
Cian.
Go for it.
Scrapmania 1.
It's not that.
See, this sounds like old.
Katie.
Is it Fuck PG?
It is that. Katie's 1-0 up.
Wait, Fuck PG was the first show, right?
Yeah, it was. It was the very first show.
That show.
You can play. You're in this. All right. Okay.
The main event was
Oh, it was the Wards versus.
Worky and the lads from the flats.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm going looking.
Tommy D with the Sona gimmick.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad for him.
Yeah. She was Kansas G in the Ballymun Bruiser, and then Katey against and B killed in the table match. Right. So this match. Oh, that's too easy. Terry Thatcher was on this card.
What, are we meant to fucking guess based off that?
No, I'm thinking of more. I'm thinking of Katie Harvey. Katie Harvey was on this card in a tag team match.
Oh, that narrows it down big time.
This match was not in the Tivoli Theatre.
Okay, I think.
Oh, I have
I have an idea.
Cian.
Go for
Bollocks, why I say that?
Go for it.
Wrestling is art?
It's not that.
Why have I gone so early? Why did I go?
You're frozen out.
Ignore me. I promise.
There was
it's
a tag team match in the main event of this.
Katie,
Go on, go for it.
contenders won.
Yes, Katie 2-0 up. Holy shit.
I would not have got that.
Holy shit. Okay, so looking for the card here. Alright. What the hell? Oh no, that's a future show. Alright, it doesn't matter.
You sounded so like panicked, like
This match
what the hell?
This match was in the National Stadium. The main event of this match got a 4 3/4 rating from Dave Meltzer.
Cian,
Go for it.
Scrapmania 3?
It's not that. You're frozen out.
But that narrows it down. Fun fact, Scrapmania 3 was 3 years ago today.
Oh,
I didn't know. That's what I thought you picked there.
Sean Guinness and Michael May were involved in a tag team match.
Oh, I fucking know this one and everything. I know this exact one. Kate, pick an answer.
Okay, is it? What's it actually called? Is Scrapper Mania 4?
It's not that. Cian, you're back in. Go for it.
Cian, 4th year anniversary.
Yes, 2-1. Cian
Yeah.
back in the game.
Let's go.
This is getting interesting. Could this be a dramatic comeback? Interesting. Okay. This show was in the Tivoli Theatre.
The tension.
Katie Harvey was on this show. She lost.
That does not narrow it down.
There was what? No. There was a tag team match in the main event. The cage match have down as a singles match.
What?
What?
Club Tropicana were on this show, on this card.
Okay, that rules out what I was going to say, so I'm happy with that.
You said it's a Tivoli show.
It's a Tivoli show. You were on it. You lost. Club Tropicana
It's
were
one
on
of
the card.
two. It's one of two that I had in my head.
The Gymnasties were on this card.
What the fuck? Gymnasties?
Yes.
And Club Tropicana?
Yes.
That's mad.
That does not sound right.
It
They
is.
come from two completely different eras.
It
no
is.
way.
It is. It is. The Wards were on this card.
Oh, Katie!
Go for it.
Fan appreciation.
It is Katie Harvey with the win. Club Tropicana were in the opening match, and then it was the Gymnasties against Martina and lads from the flats, the Wards against Charlie Sterling and Paul Tracy, and then you had Katie losing to Raven Creed. Haha. The main event was Jordan Devlin and Sean Guinness against Strong Hearts. So there you go. So Katie Harvey.
What's the single match added down as?
What's that?
You said it was the tag match as a singles match.
Yeah, they just wrote it as a singles match for some reason on Cage Match, even though underneath it, it's clearly a tag team match.
Okay. Well, if I was, what's the word? I don't know. Not a sore loser. I'd congratulate Katie, but I am. So like that.
You won. It's over. You won. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Like, you won an event, you won something that recalled you to remember wrestling shows and is about OTT knowledge. Like, that's Cian's forte. You just beat Cian at his own game. Like, that's...
I never remember what happened on shows like together.
Cian's not happy at all.
No, I'm not. This is very demoralising, actually. Because 3-1, I believe 3-1 is the most demoralising result to lose by in any sport, like in football and stuff, yeah? And I lost 3-1. And speaking of demoralising, at El Blanco asks, any thoughts or opinions on the current Nordic drama? So I actually do have a lot of thoughts on this.
Go for it.
All right. So I suppose we'll start off with the context, yeah? What happened? For those of you that don't know, right, this whole Nordic wrestling stuff. Last year, Respect put on a show about it was basically the whole theme of the show is gay pride, because I think it was like a gay pride weekend or something in Belfast. I could be, yeah. And to put it bluntly, this show was kind of like it was kind of a laughing stock of Irish wrestling for a while. Like, there was a lot of swearing, unprotected chair toss to the head, and a fucking HLA segment on a show that was supposed to be, celebrating gay pride, etc., etc. While children in attendance watched along, yeah? Mm-hmm. And, like, you'd expect them to sort of, like, take the L, move on. Now, L normally means loss, but in this case, we can take it as maybe learning lesson. Move on, pretend the show never happened, and, move on. And it looked like they did that. But a few days ago, they decided to put this show on VOD. Not just put it up for people to watch, but for people to actually pay actual real money to watch this show. And I think that's what prompted this to all unfold. Basically, Sky James, a wrestler up north, decided to put out. It was a long tweet. There was loads of screenshots of the notes. So I'm not going to read it all out. It's still up there, I think, if you want to go and watch it or want to go and read it. And basically, to summarize, she said that she was bullied in Respect. And like this, like, it's a very difficult thing to come out and fucking and put out a tweet like that, because I mean, no disrespect to Sky James, but she's not a big name down here. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, there was a guarantee that this would burn bridges and get heat or whatever in Respect, but there was no guarantee that people would respond to this, the way that they did. And thankfully, the response that it got was overwhelmingly positive. Loads of people were supporting. Loads of people were, giving her all the support and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think it was the next day is when all the Respect trainees came out with their response. Did any of you see any of this, by the way?
I've seen bits, yeah.
Right. So when the Respect trainees came out with their responses, I always like to be open-minded whenever things like this go down, because I want to take both sides into account and in order to get the full kind of story. You know what I mean? But they didn't really. I was thinking, will they have some sort of a defense? Will they deny it? Will they apologize? They essentially did none of those things. They kind of just went, I love Respect, stop saying mean things about Respect, which isn't really the best defense I've ever seen. I'm not going to lie. So there's a couple of different tweets, but the main one came from a video, a 15-minute long video. Did any of you see this 15-minute long video?
No, and I won't.
Well, you won't, because it was deleted. I actually checked it today. I wanted to watch it back just so I didn't misquote it or anything like that. But it's gotten taken down. That's why I'm not, calling people out by name, because maybe, we had a change of heart, or maybe it's told to take it down. I don't know. But the video's not there anymore.
Video.
Yes. Well, okay, cool.
You will always name names.
Sorry, we're not meant to say that.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're safe.
I've got nothing personal against any of the people involved. That's why I'm not. But I mean, if Phil wants to throw hands, he can throw hands. But basically, this video was 15 minutes, and it was a long 15 minutes. This was about 2 to 3 minutes of content stretched out to 15, because he didn't plan this video. There was no preparation put into this video. No script was written, and no valid points were made at all throughout the video. You're going in expecting, again, is it going to be an apology? Is it going to be a defense? You know what I mean? In the end, it was essentially him saying, so he started off the video by saying that Curtis Murray, and that's essentially, when we're talking about Respect, it's essentially Curtis's kind of school or whatever. There's a few of them involved in it. It's not just Curtis, but you're talking about Curtis when you're talking about respect as well.
He's the person being spoken about here. Like that's the subject of all this.
Yeah. And he said that Curtis was a close friend of his. And the thing about it is, he didn't need to say that, because if you watch the video in its entirety, you'd know that. Because this wasn't an intellectual response to what was going on. This was purely emotional. It was just him sticking up for his friend. He was sad that his friend was getting attacked on social media and wanted to be a good friend and stick up for him. And it was a bit of a disaster, if I'm being honest, right? And like I saw this video because all the respect trainees were retweeting it and endorsing it and saying, "Watch this video. This is the situation laid out bare." And so they were referencing it as if it was like academic source material for whatever fucking academic essay they were doing. But like this, so I watched it, and like his main points are Curtis Murray being a nice lad because he buys the ring, Curtis Murray being a nice lad because he helps them out, and at one point he says, and Matt Skyler was brought down and he had a grand old time. I'm like, look, I love Matt Skyler. I'm probably Matt Skyler's biggest fan. I'm literally wearing a Matt Skyler t-shirt right now, yeah? Young Phoenix Wrestling and all that. But how the fuck is that relevant?
I don't know. Do you know what? It's turned me. If Matt Skyler had a good day, then you know what? I can't see what's wrong.
Right. So I'm watching this fucking video, yeah? And I'm thinking, right, Matt Skyler had a great time. Why didn't Sky James have a great time? Why didn't Marty McVeigh have a great time? This is another trainee who came on Twitter. I don't know if you saw this. He put out a tweet saying that in his second match in Respect, he was whipped with belts. And they didn't tell him in advance that they'd be whipping him with belts.
Oh.
Like, that's quite heavy accusations. So I'd expect them to sort of address the accusations, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What?
It's assault at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. Yeah, exactly. So I was expecting him to be like, all right, this is what's happening. But he didn't. And I watched it more, and at one point, it even got a bit patronising. I think it was some of the HLA segment, or one of the segments on that on the Pride show, and he said that well, sometimes heels have to do heelish things to be what you call it, to become hated. I'm like, yeah, we're not like a HLA segment on a PG show about gay pride. And I don't mean to be like ripping into again like this particular video, but the reason I'm doing it is because this video encapsulates the wider response that like most of Respect responded to this issue, right? They how I'd expect a fucking training school to deal with it is I'd expect them to put out a tweet. And I'd expect them to say, right, this is a very serious allegation. We're going to investigate this. And maybe they'll come to the conclusion that they didn't realise they were bullying. They thought maybe Sky James was in on it. Or maybe they thought that Sky James was comfortable with things she wasn't comfortable with. And maybe there was a breakdown of miscommunication. Maybe they'd apologise to Sky James and move on. Maybe they'd fucking remove people from positions of power within that school. Maybe just, acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Just look at it. Remove yourself from the situation and look at it from above. What went wrong? And instead, they decided to go with stop saying mean things about Respect and stop saying mean things about Curtis Murray, which I think, for me, shows what the problem is with Respect. And in my opinion, the problem with Respect is that there is no fucking adult leaders in the training school. That's my stance on Respect. When I look at how they dealt with this, and I don't mean physically, I don't mean I don't care how old they are, in terms of if they're in their mid-20s or whatever, that means nothing. I mean emotionally and mentally. If that's how you deal with a situation like that, that's fucking insane. If you go and train in Dublin, right, and you go to the School of Irish Wrestling, you have to deal with Joe Cabray. If you come to Fight Factory, you have to deal with Phil and Katey, right? And I might not like Katey, but I'll admit that all three people I've just mentioned are adults. They're responsible adults who will take account for their actions. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you go to Respect, who is the adult? Who's the adult in the room? Is it Curtis Murray? You know what I mean? I look up and it's like people talk about the Nordy wrestling scene being behind our wrestling scene, and the reality is OTT is the biggest promotion in Belfast, and to be honest, it shouldn't be. Belfast should have a promotion. Their own promotion is not necessarily as big as OTT, because OTT is seriously top, but a promotion that could fill out the Europa Hotel, for example. Why doesn't Belfast have that? And the reality is because of shit like this. When I hear shit about Respect and I hear about how far behind the Nordy wrestling scene is, do you want to know how far behind the Nordy wrestling scene is? 15 years. Because every time I listen to this podcast, I listen to you, Rick, talk about Irish wrestling, how the inmates ran the asylum, how it was kids who weren't quite ready to do what they were doing.
Yeah.
That sounds like respect in 2020.
Yeah.
And it bothers me because it's not like there isn't a lack of talent, potential, or like work ethic. I'm sure there's people working their fucking arse off up there. But while this sort of shit is happening, they're not going to get very far. And it fucking bothers me. But and I look at, like, the video ended with him talking about the future of respect, how respect is going to stick around. And like, I don't fear for the future of respect in that regard. I don't fear that it's going to go out of business. I think it'll exist for however long they want it to exist, and I think people will still support it. But in terms of its actual quality and how good it's going to be, I don't think it'll ever improve, because they've shown by how they've dealt with this that they have absolutely no desire to improve, that they've no desire to hold themselves accountable. And that's my stance on this. But, you know, at the end of the day, Matt Skyler had a grand old time, so I suppose that's really the key to take from all of this. But I would like if they would, at the very least, hold themselves accountable, and, you know, just be a bit more mature. That's what I'd like to see. But, you know, who fuck knows? What are your stances on this? Wow,
that was amazing. I've also got a fair few thoughts on this. So, like, let's go back to the start here. Let's not beat around the bush. If we're talking about it, we're talking about it. So, like, look, there's been a lot that's come out about Curtis Murray over the past while. And look, I'll be clear here as well. I don't know Curtis Murray. I've never had a conversation with him. I'm hesitant to talk about people that I don't know and haven't heard their side of the story. Because there's a difference between talking about Irish indie wrestlers and talking about, say, John Cena in Total Divas. You know, John Cena is a millionaire who profits off his image quite handsomely, so he's made his life fair game, whereas indie wrestlers haven't. There has been stuff that's come out about Curtis Murray in the past, and I'm not going to drag it up and reference it on air. But like we know what it is. If you care, you know what it is. Okay. Now, to be honest, like when I heard it first, it's fucking alarming. And like I had the same reaction that everyone else did, but also as well, like I try and do what Corporate Keen does and look at the bigger picture. And I tried to look at as well his age as well when he did that. And he was quite young, and like, not that it makes it okay, but like it had been years since that had happened, so maybe growth had happened because it was at the time in his life where, you know, when you're 18, 19, 20, you know, you're legally an adult, but in a lot of ways you can still technically be a kid. And so I was willing to kind of be like, maybe growth has happened, maybe he's not that person anymore, give him a chance. When this happened last year,
yeah, Rush got released. Sorry.
I know. It's coming. Don't worry. We'll talk about it. I've seen it as well. Like when this happened, when the respect thing happened last year, we actually debated whether to discuss it on the show, and we decided we'd let Twitter decide. If it became a thing on Twitter, we'd address it, but we didn't want to because there was a lot of people that were involved in it that would suffer by respect taking this reputational damage. If Twitter didn't decide it was a big issue, we'd leave it be because we didn't want to pile on anyone. But we felt the same way that a lot of people felt about it. I also admire Sky James for coming forward and saying it. But yeah, I can't really add to what Cian said about respect and about Curtis there. Like, you hit the nail on the head. This is a person for me that I've no interest in getting to know him. I've no interest in hearing his side of the story now. I've no interest in kind of giving a second chance. He's like, wrestling attracts all sorts, and unfortunately sometimes that's a bad thing. A lot of the time that's great because it's just a mishmash of people. It's like athletes and like nerds and like wrestling fans and like just everything. Like, there's a mishmash of people within the wrestling industry, like people that work are accountants by day. You're Andy Steels, who you'd never look at on the street and say that's a professional wrestler, like, because he's just looked like he looks like a millionaire, like IT guy or something like that, you know what I mean? But he's a wrestler and he's really fucking good at it. But like, it attracts all those kind of people, but it also attracts sometimes bad people as well who can take advantage of a situation. And a lot of time these people try and do a Joe Exotic and start their own zoo, so to speak. And I think that's ultimately what it is. Like, respect is Irish wrestling's Tiger King, and Curtis Murray is Joe Exotic as far as I'm concerned at this stage. As far as that goes, yeah, like that's I can't really add to what Cian said. There's a lot of other topics here, but like I don't want to go too long because Cian's kind of nailed it, and I want to hear from Katey and Phil and what they thought about it.
So I actually seen the entire Respect show the day after it happened. I managed to get like a copy of it to watch, and I messaged Sky straight away, and I was like, I've just seen what happened yesterday. Do you mind me asking how that happened and how you're feeling about it? Because she's very out gay wrestler, and she's very proud of her LGBT representation and stuff. And I just felt that was a weird segment for her to be involved in. Straight away, she was like, I didn't want to do it. I felt uncomfortable. And we had a bit of a chat about like when you're new in your career and pushing back and stuff. And I just basically let her know that like, the support was there. She wasn't comfortable. It's, she doesn't have to like stand by that kind of thing if she's not comfortable with it. So the fact that it's only coming out now, months later, just shows how long that's been making her uncomfortable. And she's probably just the tip of the iceberg. There's probably a whole group of people that feel like that about different things in Respect. And as someone who runs a training school, that just really, really upsets me. Because like Cian said, you need to have adults, you need to have people controlling things. Like wrestling is full of, like, to the outside world, wrestling is full of weirdos and carnies. And unfortunately, there are a lot of weirdos and carnies in it, but wrestling schools need to be run like a business. Yeah. And I know us, and I know Jokes, I've spoken to him about it before. We have things like always have someone first aid qualified on site. Me and Phil have our child protection certs. We have all these other certs and stuff for running Fight Factory. We have procedures on how to deal with things if people come and tell us something, if somebody gets hurt, if somebody gets injured. We have all these different procedures that we know we have to follow to keep everyone safe. I know Joe's school is the same. And it just doesn't seem like that's the same up north with Respect. And it's that's not acceptable anymore, is the bottom line. Running a training school like that is not acceptable. It just gives everyone else a bad name. It makes trainees uncomfortable. It puts people in danger as well. That's the bottom line, emotionally and physically. And to be honest, I don't often say this, but I hope it ruins them, I hope they just either clean up their act or they disappear, because you can't run a school like that when you've got people dependent on you.
Yeah.
I hope they just disappear. So if anyone has followed my sort of career over the last 5 years, I was part of PW Heavy. Don't know how I fell into it. Accidentally fell into it, but I loved it. Right? PW was the best promotion in this country at one point. Right? They were drawing. You were talking about like how can one promotion in Northern Ireland not draw like huge crowds in the Europa Hotel? Why does it have to be OTT? PW were drawing 500 people in the Europa Hotel. I was on the show. Like me and Barry were tag teaming up there. Like we were on that show. That was the best roster. I was actually jealous of it. I was like, fuck, I wish Fight Factory was more like this, because there was a load of guys helping out, and that ring had to come down. The ring was coming down quick, and there was a load of guys just eager, just happy to be a part of the business, right? And I got up there and I was like, wow, like I want to be a part of this. Like I worked for PW for nothing. I was working for PW for £20. Honest God, some days I didn't even get paid. I didn't care. I enjoyed the time up there. I wasn't going up for the money. I was enjoying it because I enjoyed the atmosphere up there. Like I love the crowd interaction, I love the big crowds, I love the matches, right? It was an absolutely brilliant promotion. Fast forward a few shows. Like I'm fast forward to 10 shows, right? And it all starts kicking off. And to be honest, I wasn't in that circle. But when you had your Respect or whatever they've transformed into now, whatever was beforehand, like a lot of people started to turn. Like that whole roster, half that roster got turned by Curtis Murray. And maybe a couple others again. I wasn't in that circle. But half that roster got turned, and suddenly they all got egos. And suddenly they all started saying, well, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. And what they did, and like you said, it was like their own Tiger King. He just wanted to set up his own little zoo. He wasn't happy being second fiddle, or like, even though he was getting title runs and matches, like, he just set up his own thing, and he split Belfast. He took half the talent one way and half the talent stayed. And what happened then, you had two half promotions that just did not work together. But that tension was created on their side. It wasn't created on the PW side. PW just lived with the ramifications of it. Yeah. And I was worried because this great promotion then that I loved working for, you could see the heart was taken over, like, you know what I mean? And then they went across the road and did nothing any better. Like, they were just being so petty, like, to be against each other and like, no, we're doing this, and like, I'm gonna run Northern Irish Wrestling. And to be honest, like, we had it back in the day, Rick, like with NWA Ireland and Irish Whip, like we were told to hate, like Paul Tracy used to tell us to hate all you guys. Like, I didn't even know any of you. Like, I was told to hate Simon Rogers. You gotta fucking kill him when you see him. And I was like, yeah, sure, will, Paul. Just once I find out what. But it was just they created such a toxic atmosphere, and in turn, Northern Ireland just died. Like, the whole, like, it was such, I can't tell you how much fun those shows were. Yeah. And I'm still so angry about how it all turned out, because it was my release when everyone else was doing OTT, and I wasn't invited to that party. Like, PWU was my release, and I'm still severely pissed at it. I had Curtis Moyer on the Fight Factory shows before the boom, so I had him on. I had him main event on one of the Wicklow shows, and then you know, I was giving all these lads opportunities. Like, I was setting up links to like give them a chance to come down and get experience down south, and like, this was long before now we knew about the other thing, which I won't mention. But again, like you said, if anyone wants to know about it, or if anyone knows, they know. Yeah. But I haven't got a point to finish on, because I'm still quite furious when this talk. So when these respect guys come out and defend it, I'm like, fair enough. If you're just bought into respect, the same way we bought into NWA Ireland, I bought into NWA Ireland, you bought into Irish Whip, and that was your baby, like, that was your promotion. You would defend that promotion to hilt. Yeah. But if you're part of the decision making with respect, and you knew, like, and you've made conscious decisions to create tension up there, then I've no sympathy for you, and I hope your careers are fairly short in professional wrestling if you're listening to this. Other than that, if you're naive to it and you just think Curtis Moyer's a guy who gave you opportunity, that's fine. There's opportunity elsewhere. Like, I would advise all wrestlers up there to just get away from that toxic atmosphere that's respect wrestling.
Like, you brought it up there, the IWW NWA thing, and we're now on the other side of it, obviously on the same podcast now, and obviously mates are working together with Fight Factory and whatnot, and now we're on the other side of it. Like, and Cian, you compared it to that kind of scene, like, all those years ago, and you're right when you say that. Like, we can both say from experience that all of us lost because of that split. Like, on one hand, like, Irish Whip had, like, TV and opportunities, and we were doing tours, and on the other hand, like, there was Fergal Devitt and Finn Balor and Jordan and Phil and all these great wrestlers that we weren't getting, that on the Irish Whip side we weren't getting to train with. So all of us were losers. We all lost out on that because we couldn't maximise what we have. And look at what's happened down here in Dublin. I think the one thing, Northern Ireland has a great scene. It has a great, not necessarily a great scene, but it has a great fan base who want to support and will support the promotions down there. They want what we have in Dublin. We spoke about that before on the show. And I think the thing that everyone should take away, and we've said this before on this show, and yet it still keeps happening, is, like, the thing that we can take away is, like, look at what's happened in Dublin. Now everyone works together. Now there's some cohesion. There are, like, rival promotions and, like, even, like, schools you talked about there. Like, there's Fight Factory, there's the School of Irish Wrestling, but they're not rivals. They work together. They cooperate. They have some sense of cohesion, and, like, trainees can go back and forth. And look now what's happening. It's an explosion and everyone is better for it. Your petty differences aren't good enough. And here's the thing. If you have someone down there who's doing, say, what Curtis is doing and splitting the scene, the power lies with the, like, if he doesn't have a roster and people won't work for him and won't put up with this, he has no power. So you do have that power as wrestlers down there to just say, do you know what, this is bullshit, and I heard fucking Phil Boyd say it, and he knows better than this guy. He's been around longer than this guy. So, like, you have the power to, like, take that away from these people. If that's the kind of experience you get within wrestling, if you're a wrestler listening to this, I imagine we'll have quite a high hit rate for this one. But, like, if you are a wrestler listening to this, you have the power to actually affect change by just saying, no, if you're going to be like this, I'm not going to work for you, and I'll work for the crowd who aren't like that. And there is a good crowd there.
Yeah,
Titanic are there.
an example, right? We mentioned Matt Skyler. I'm going to mention Matt Skyler again. He is part of the Cork wrestling scene. Yeah. What happened in the Cork wrestling scene? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You had a bunch of incredibly talented, hard-working wrestlers who worked for one promotion that was run by somebody who didn't belong in the position that they were in, and look, like, they walked out. They walked out, and look where they are now. It's a much better scene now because of it, because they're all working together. Mm-hmm. It's my stance on wrestling politics is this, right? I want you, if you're in this sort of situation, to go back and watch. All right, let's go back to a couple of episodes of Fight Factory. Yeah, episode, I don't know what one it was, 11, we'll say. John Bernard versus Sharkbait, where Sharkbait is dressed up as a shark, yeah, and all his little shark friends all come out, yeah, and help Sharkbait get the win, yeah. And just think about while you're watching this. This is what you're fighting over. Just think about that for 1 minute, right? That, like, all those people dressed up as sharks, all these people dressed up, like, that's what this whole split is about. You know what I mean? Or like, watch any comedy match, right? And just think, like, this is what you're not talking to each other over, right? When you actually think of it like that, when you break it down to its fundamentals, it's really dumb. Yeah. But that's all I have to say on that. Really, any more last words?
No, I think we covered a lot of ground there.
I hope you're happy with our answers, Robbie.
Episode title: Matt Skyler's Big Day Out. Episode title. There you go. Sorted.
But no, thanks for the question, Robbie. It was definitely worth bringing up. I feel.
Will we get on to the WWE?
Before we get on to the next question, breaking news coming in. In fact, there might even be more, but this is what I have right now. 6 releases.
More. I have more. You say you're 6. I have more here.
Oh, okay, right. I've got 6. Right. My 6 are Drake Maverick.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit! I would love to see him in OTT. Just throwing it out there.
Ooh.
Kurt Hawkins. The Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
Nice. New Japan. Here they go. The Good Brothers coming back.
EC3, and I love seeing
Carl Anderson.
What?
You know, I wrestled Carl Anderson in Barcelona once and met him. Just saying.
When?
Could happen again. There you go. You never know.
Yeah, what's AK's promotion called again? You know, a Spanish promotion? I don't know, but I hope they're listening. We'll set up the rematch. EC3, I'd love to see back in Impact. And lads, Leo fucking Rush.
Yeah.
That is someone I would absolutely... That's a shock, by the way. There are people in that who are scheduled to be in a tournament in NXT, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Like, that's upcoming. I would absolutely love to see Leo Rush in Dublin or anywhere else. It's by the way, it's shit that these people are losing their jobs. I don't mean to come across like I'm celebrating them losing their jobs. No. That's really bad. But someone just sent me a photo. Oh, what is the...
You want to know the most upsetting one for me?
What?
Go on.
Slater is gone.
What?
Who else is gone?
Heath Slater's gone. Eric Young is gone.
Yeah, not surprising.
4 producers. So Finley's gone.
Oh.
Mike Rotunda's gone. Shane Helms is gone, and Lance Storm is gone.
Oh, Lance Storm! They just brought him back.
They work for WWE.
Yeah.
Lance was probably last in, first out, though.
Yeah.
No, Lance closed out his wrestling school only 6 months ago to go back and work WWE full time as a producer.
He can set it back up, though.
Yeah.
But,
he'll be all right. Like,
that's so shitty.
He can restart. He'll be all right.
Fingers crossed. Anyway, Jesus. Here's the thing. We could get Finley and OTT finally.
Oh, Finley and OTT, lads. Let's go. What you call it? Finley versus Bonesaw is my dream match. I've always said that. That is like
solid.
That's what I want to see.
Finley's a rough one now. Like Finley's been there a long time. Like he deserved to keep his job. Like when we were talking about this earlier, like you have Primo and Epico still there around the wage. But like Finlay should be kept. Like, you know, that's ridiculous. Like.
Finlay was largely responsible for it, not the women's revolution that we know now in NXT. Like that was mainly like started in NXT, but beforehand, when like kind of the Beth Phoenix, Melina generation, when they first started to kind of make strides as well, that was all Finlay. Like he was the person training and organising. I remember I was working at a WWE show in the Point, and I remember watching a Melina match get practice with Fit going over everything with them, and it was fascinating to watch because I was actually still in wrestling at the time, so it was like fucking wrestling trainee, like kind of, I don't want to say porn, but you know what I mean, like in terms of being able to watch that happen like at that high level. Like, so yeah, he was heavily involved and always gets credit for that. So a large part of what we're seeing these days is like will be remembered in his legacy, just not only what we remember of him on screen as well. He played a huge part, so that's a big deal. There's a lot of big names gone there.
I am so torn. Like, should I want Eric Rowan to stay and try and win the world title, or do I want him to get released so he can come to OTT? You know what I mean? That's the dilemma right now. I don't know what boat you're in. I look Phoenix Wrestling. If you're listening and Eric Rowan ends up being released by the end of this podcast, please, I am begging you, bring him in.
You're literally talking to the Fight Factory general manager, and you're like, Phoenix, will you please?
Rick has already told me that it's, I don't know. Well, Rick, okay, fine. Rick, are we gonna have Eric Rowan?
Here's the deal. We spoke about this beforehand off the air. Legitimately, here's the deal we'll make, right? You get, like, when this is all over, obviously, okay, and everyone's getting back to normal and people have their jobs back and so on, you start a GoFundMe, okay? If you raise the money for Eric Rowan plus his flights and everything else involved, then we'll think about it.
Tell him there's no hotels and he can stay in your gaff cave.
There you go.
You can hang out with Toby.
They literally Keats Dream Weekend.
What?
I want to see a picture of Eric Rowan holding Toby so badly.
Oh man, like that. Oh my god.
if you could do that, guys, would you support that? Hashtag low blows. Tweet us in if you'd support that Eric Rowan GoFundMe. We might have resolution. We might have an update by the end of the year. We're taping this live as this stuff is breaking, so we're keeping an eye on Twitter and trying to give live reactions as we go.
On a serious note, though, I do hope he keeps the job. Like, just to clarify, I do hope he keep the job on a personal level. But the fan in me, of course, would love to see him wrestle here.
Can we talk for a second how crazy this is that they got deemed an essential business? So essentially, apart from their live shows, they're not actually losing money, but they're still doing massive layoffs and firings.
It's nuts.
It's almost like
what?
It's almost like signing every single fucking wrestler on the planet was a bad idea financially. Who would have thought? Who actually would have thought? But yeah, I don't know. Like,
they could have turned around to Finlay even and said, like, look, we just need to let you go until this all blows over. Like, we'll sign you back as soon as possible. You never know. Finlay could be back in there in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really know the full, like, kind of, I don't know.
I like to think they have a little bit of loyalty that way. They seem to be a very loyal company to work for, and that's what I love about WWE. It's like they don't really sack anybody. Like there was a whole 4 or 5 year period there where I think they didn't sack a single person.
Yeah, but they're doing it all tonight.
It's a bad time. They've literally, like, within the past few minutes, they've sacked 20 people. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying the timing is unfortunate.
Yeah. I'll probably hold off on that.
Phil Boyd, WWE never sack people.
Yeah, this is like breaking, like, this is happening. As you're saying that, people are getting sacked, like.
Kidman just got sacked.
Who?
Trying to go funny. Sarah Stock, she's basically... Wait, what? Sarah Stock got fired. She's like one of the head trainers for the women's division.
That's Sarah now, eh?
No, she wrestled with Sarita.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Do you know what you're talking about? Man, do any of you get a bit kind of anxious or something, like, looking at all this? I do feel for, like, all the... Again, like, it's kind of... I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel a bit uncomfortable, like, you know what I mean?
It's shit. What? It's absolutely shit. Like, I'm worried to check my phone. And I'm like...
Yeah, I'm not even getting...
I feel like I'm going to get fired.
I'm nervous on their behalf. Like, it's fucking, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But fuck it. When we get back into the questions, and we'll update at the end of it.
Yeah, we've answered like 3 questions so far in an hour.
Yeah. Thanks, Robbie. What?
I'll stop shouting out random names.
No, it's interesting.
Sorry.
At Sean McSaurin.
Holy shit,
Someone who's only been in Ireland once. Or, sorry, am I reading this question right?
Yeah.
Someone who's only been in Ireland once, or you've only seen once, on a wrestling show that you want to see again. Mine's Alex Cuevas. Yes, we were meant to answer this a few weeks ago, and I think we forgot. Yeah. Right, so who has only appeared on one Irish wrestling show, or you've only seen once that you want to see back again? Rick, as general manager of Fight Factory, baby, do you have an answer, or?
Oh shit! I'm still looking at Twitter. Right, one person. Oh no! You're after putting me on the spot there. I can't think of any wrestlers ever. I can only think of Aiden English, who's just got sacked. He's gone. Aiden English is gone.
Answer if you want, Cian.
Yeah.
Gresham. I want Gresham back. Like.
Oh yeah,
that's a fucking great answer.
Oh yeah,
Jonathan Gresham. Yeah,
correct
that's
answer.
a solid answer. All right, my answer. Not quite Jonathan Gresham. All right, but we'll think outside the box for a minute. I want to see Tiny Iron back in OTT. I want to see Big Cool's dad. He got shit done when he showed up, and we haven't seen him in like 2 years. I was a big fan of him.
In Ireland like 50 times.
What?
He's wrestled in Ireland like 50 times. He's a regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've only seen him once though, so I'm gonna go with
technicality.
Who? Well, my brain's gone empty again. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Alex Cuevas. Yes, that's another fucking great answer. I genuinely, when it was him, Omari, and OJMO and Talat, I thought all 3 of them were fucking amazing. And OJMO and Omari became regulars. I think Cuevas had to go. Where's he from again? Is it Singapore? I think you have to go back there. So I'm not entirely sure what the story is, but I'd love to see him back. He's fucking amazing. Yeah. Do you all have answered? Rick, did you answer the question? Or are you still on Twitter?
I agree with Gresh. Gresh is the correct answer.
Yeah, I think that's actually fair. Thanks for the. Oh no, Sean has another question, if I remember correctly. Yes. What?
I didn't answer the question. I want Kevin Nash.
Well, what's that?
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash.
And I want Masato Tanaka as well, please and thank you.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah, that's a very good
Katie Harvey versus Masato Tanaka. Rick, you're the general manager, right? It is your responsibility. Are you going to book Katie Harvey versus Masato Tanaka at episode 14?
At episode 14? No. We have to check the budget on that, but we'll see. We don't even know when episode 14 is. We don't know when wrestling shows can be again. We'll see though.
After Eric Rowan, of course, Masato Tanaka versus Katie Harvey. I'm all, can we get Eric Rowan versus Katie Harvey? Oh my god, that would be so funny. Please.
Corporate Keen, special guest referee, just fast counting the shit out of it. You've never seen a count so fast.
Eric Rowan's hitting her with the proper Bludgeon Brothers hammer. I'm like, no DQ, didn't see it. Oh man, so good.
You're in your eyes, you never count twice, and the match goes on for longer.
Keen, she's dead. Whoa! Oh no, wait, her shoulder's a little bit up there. She was twitching, Keen. She was twitching.
She's having a fit.
That's not a kick out.
She's just wondering.
No, I'm on commentary. It's like, Keen, why are you on commentary? It's like, she's twitching. It's like, no, it's the heart. It's the passion. She wants to. It's the will to win.
We will not quit. She will not die. Ladies and gentlemen, Katie Harvey has died.
Oh god.
But Sean asked a second question. What we kind of answered this last week, but it might have changed in the last 7 days, so I'll ask it again. What new habits have you picked up during lockdown? He started running, doing core-centered cardio and weight training. I don't know what that middle part was, but I'm assuming it's some sort of exercise. So I don't know. I mean, Katie, you're a wrestler. Wrestlers do exercise, don't they? What's that? What do you do? I don't know. Any habits?
Do I have any habits for being a wrestler? We're running, got to keep that ring fitness up. I don't like it, but I'm doing it. I don't know. I haven't picked up any new habits. I suppose apart from slightly learning how to cook, because I never cooked beforehand. So that's good.
I'm actually
congratulations.
I'm starting to really back in my fitness. Like, surprisingly, when I had to work, and like I got a real like shoot job, where like I'm wearing a shirt with trousers now, which is like totally against everything I ever want to be. But I gotta get that dollar, yo. So I haven't been hitting the gym at all. Like I finished my 8 hours of work, and I'm so demotivated to work out. So like obviously I put on a bit of weight, and now since this break, I'm like enjoying getting back out running. We did a deck of cards. No more than 2 hours ago, which was hell. But I'm actually starting to get back into fitness. Like I'm determined to get like back into good shape at 34 years of age.
Nice.
Oh, deadly.
It's tough.
Rick, you got any new habits?
It's tough though, because like I'm pretty much the same age, and like it's different because when you're this age, your body is your body. Because I'm doing like a lot of cardio and stuff like that, and like it's like I've started running as well. I'm trying I'm doing couch to 5k again because there's no gym open. So I hate cardio, but like it's the only kind of exercise I'll realistically do because I don't have a home gym or anything. So yeah, like it's a bitch though, because like again, there's that thing when you're in your 20s, you can make gains like in a relatively quick amount of time. You're not going to be running 5Ks after a week, but you notice your fitness dramatically improve. But when you get to when you go past 30, it's like it's a harder job, and your body isn't what it used to be either. It's tough. Yeah, it's it is, and that's what I'm finding. In terms of habits,
and you put on weight.
It is. It's tough.
Go
ahead.
Go on.
No. That's pretty much me. Like, yeah, I've just got into a routine. Like, so, I'm actually finding it normal now. Like, I'm working, then doing my runs and doing the show. Zoom parties are a big thing now. I had a party where me and my mates played Kahoot, which is a really good game if you're looking for one, because it's something you can play and it doesn't require too much of you. But it's good crack like on Zoom if you want to play it at any time. So I'm doing a lot of Zoom parties, and that's kind of they're kind of my habits. That's my life. I'm playing a lot of video games. I'm binging The Last of Us now, playing that every night. I'm kind of looking forward to being finished taping so I can get back to it. I'm a bit addicted, but like, yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Like typical lockdown stuff, I guess.
Yeah, like in terms of games, like I'm playing Warzone a lot because obviously everyone else is on PlayStation now too. So I'm playing it with Ben, not the Ben Given, the other Ben who none of you know. And yeah, he just texted me there as you were talking, saying online ? So I had to explain to him that no, I am talking about my habits, which now includes walking. I think last week I said I was going to. I think I said I was going to. So I started. It's a really short walk. I'm not gonna lie, but it's it's just to leave the house, and I do it like at night as well, so there's nobody around. So it's like fucking nice and quiet, and it's actually all right. I'm not gonna run. That's a horrible idea. Fuck no. But walking is good. I recommend that. It, again, requires very little skill. Can you put your left foot in front of your right foot and then your right foot in front of your left? Like it's doable. It is doable. But yeah. Those are my habits. Again, nothing particularly interesting. I need to get back into catching up on UFC. I haven't watched UFC in a few days because I've been busy. Oh, video shit!
Yeah,
I'm more busy now than I was when I was doing college assignments, because now I'm really trying to get video stuff done. I've got another one on the way. I don't know if I'll get it done in time for Monday because it's loads of videos in one video. If that makes sense. It doesn't. It'll make sense when you see it. But yeah, so no, I'm very, very much occupied. Those are my habits, I suppose.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks for your question, Sean.
Corporate Keane doing physical exercise. This is the beginning of the story for when you become Liam Royal. Like, I can't wait. We are here for the inception of this story. When Keane is jacked in 6 or 7 years and looks like Liam Royal, this is the start of that story. I can't wait. I'm so excited for it.
It all started with a global pandemic.
That's all great stories.
Last of the yogurt. Lads, this is a very serious question, so I want you all to sort of, calm it down and just think about this for a minute, okay? At last of the yogurt, what is the greatest river?
Nile. Fact. End of.
Why?
Why? It just is. It's
the biggest.
Yeah, it's the biggest.
It's
it's the most famous. It's the one all the memes are about. It's that kids do memes about the River Nile, don't they? That's a thing. I'm still cool.
do they?
Also,
sure, Rick.
I also
down with the kids, Rick.
I'm also partial to a bit of the River Danube. It just sounds cool. I don't know much about it. It's a river. That's what it is. It's a collection of water on the planet.
Yeah.
Where?
In the world, Earth.
Katey, what is your favorite river? Quick. Or no, sorry, not your favorite. You have to be objective here. The greatest, right? You said the greatest, so I'm asking you now, what is the greatest river?
I read this question earlier and I was like, I'll Google what river Carrick-on-Shannon is on. It's the Shannon. I'm going to say that because I've been on hen parties and booze cruises on the Shannon and it was pretty great, so I'm going to say that.
It's in the name, like it's on Shannon.
The greatest river in the world is the Liffey. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, God.
It divides those smelly, up-the-rose Southsiders from us down the earth, salt of the earth, Northsiders. You know how to treat people right. It divides the city, but it divides classes, and our class is better than the Southside.
Okay. Right. Well, my answer is a river that's on the south side, so you're wrong. The River Dutter is the best river, the greatest river, as you say, at last of the yogurt, in the fucking world, right? Why? I don't know. I didn't really think to elaborate on this question, but I just feel like I should pick the Dutter. It's the nearest river to my house, and I really like it. It's got water in it and stuff, so that's always what you want when you see a river.
It is what you want.
Yeah, good bit of water.
Yeah.
Can't really think of any other rivers I haven't been mentioned. So we'll just go with that then. But you know what? That was actually a gas question, so thanks at last of the yogurt. Nice to see you. At Simpsons WWE. Oh, speaking of geographic disagreements, is that what we just had? Well, sure. At Simpsons WWE, if there was one county you could launch into the mid-Atlantic Ocean at the touch of a button, what one would it be? His choice is Cavan, which I strongly disagree with, but I'll get to in a sec. Katey and Phil, or whoever the fuck wants to answer this, what is your least favourite county that you would launch into that mid-Atlantic? Never to be seen again.
Oh my God.
I don't like doing
That's a toughie.
I don't really hate a lot of
No, it's not. No, it's not. Fermanagh gets fucked straight in there, man. Fuck Fermanagh. I fucking hate it. Sorry.
No, against it. I'm trying to think when I had a bad experience. Like, a lot of people say Offaly because like biffos and stuff. Well, I actually like Offaly. I've been out in Offaly a few nights.
Yeah, Offaly's cool.
Yeah, Offaly's cool.
It's awfully cool.
Okay, you get the fuck out of this chat. How can you kick people from fucking messenger chats?
No.
Well, I like Tullamore because I got to watch Mall Cop in Tullamore, a movie, and I've seen maybe 10 movies, and that was one of them, and I really liked it. So Mall Cop is solid, and I thank Offaly for that. So Offaly stays, but Fermanagh goes because it's a very anticlimactic county. Fermanagh, Laois. You see, Leitrim. People shit on Leitrim, right? But Leitrim has a gimmick. When you think of nothing, you think of Leitrim. Do you know what I mean? And you associate it with Leitrim. It's the epitome. It's a definition of nothing. And I actually respect Leitrim for its lack of anything. It's actually impressive. So for that reason, Leitrim stays. Fermanagh, you forget about. Laois, you forget about. Carlow is another one. Carlow is just a road to other counties. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really much going on there, in my opinion. So those are three counties that I would consider fucking into mid-Atlantic. Cavan, I disagree with. Cavan's actually my second favourite. Lots of family there. So for me, Dublin and Cavan are like my two favourites. But yeah, so have we decided on either counties? Rick, you're very quiet. You seem to be too scared to piss off any county. Come on.
I'm looking at more people who've been released. Do we want names?
Oh
my God.
Kurt Angle. Billy Kidman.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Shane Helms.
Yeah, we said that already.
Did we? Okay, sorry.
All the producers are gone.
Jesus. Okay, so in terms of that, I saw a funny tweet yesterday where it was like Cork reenacting their Easter Rising by staying at home. It's like, that's pretty good. That's pretty fucking good. Cork. Sorry, Cork.
Really?
I like a lot of people
No,
Cork, but that I don't like the county as a whole or what it stands for.
You see, here's the thing with Cork with me, right? Most Dublin people don't like Cork. Most Cork people fucking hate Dublin. But for me, like, when I go to Cork, it's like I only ever go for like wrestling and like fun shit. So like, I always have the crack when I'm in Cork. If I was to pick a Munster county, I'm not a big Kerry guy, to be honest.
I know,
Like,
Kerry's my second county. Why don't you like Kerry?
It's just real, like...
You just gave him an answer.
Yeah, because it's your second favourite county. Right, now it changed your mind. Kerry's getting fucked into the Mid-Atlantic, and it's all Katey's fault. But what, Katey and Phil, have you come up with a county yet?
Have you?
What was that?
Get off that fence.
Yeah,
Me?
pick a county. Yeah.
Clare.
Donegal.
What?
I don't know. I was there and I got sick off the side of a ferry and it wasn't very nice. So
The entire county's
no,
gone.
I don't like Donegal.
Donegal?
Why?
Donegal's the only place in the country where you travel 6 hours and still not be there.
That's a fair point, actually. It does take for fucking ever.
have no trains at all.
Oh, yeah, do they not? Yeah, but it's nice, though.
We did a show in Letterkenny years ago, and I swear to God, it was the longest. Now, it was a great drive up because the car was in, but it was the longest drive up I've ever had. And I've done even longer drive back the next day.
Holy shit.
Like Donegal, shirts, even there, you could just push it aside. Then there's no more argument between North and South about Donegal. You know, you just let it go drift. Let it join Iceland.
Iceland.
Just cut it off in the middle of the night. Just go down there with a fucking box cutter.
I have a grudge against Donegal, right? I'll admit. I have a grudge against Donegal. And the grudge comes from the Irish Owl exam. Have you done the Irish Owl exam, for your leaving cert or your junior cert or whatever?
Yeah.
And like, there'd be somebody from, Kerry or wherever being like, "Ta Shay," you know what I mean? Like real slow and real kind of whatever. Yeah. And then like all of a sudden you'd hear beep and then just and it's just literally some lad from Donegal speaking off Gaeilge, and I'm like, how is this the same language? You have fucked up my education royally. And I now have to do a PLC and it's all your fault. But no, I wouldn't say I dislike Donegal or that would be my county to go. But it is, I do understand the argument. Clare, no, I actually really like Clare.
Do you know what's a good plus for Donegal is that they gave us Packy Bonner and Shay Given. So
exactly, yeah.
Goalkeepers, and that's what we need to keep Donegal.
They gave us Jimmy Malloy.
I was going to say that too.
So you can't get rid of Donegal, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Donegal. I like.
Apologise to the people of Donegal listening to this.
We've buried a number of counties here, and we've alienated probably a number of our listeners. Now we're going to move on to the next question. At J Malloy 1985. What TV quiz show do you think you would be best on and why? Any era, be it Millionaire, Pointless, Blackboard, Jungle, etc. Ooh, that's a tough one. I didn't see this question beforehand. I don't know, Rick. What's your or what?
The Cube. I'd be awesome at the Cube.
You wouldn't have the patience. We tried to go on Pointless before, but you have to be from the UK to get into it. We watch it obsessively. I love Pointless.
It is ridiculous.
Apart from the fact that the prize money is £1,000. So even if you win it, like get a pointless answer, you get €1,000. But if I go into the Cube and throw a ball into a hole that's too fun to me, I get like £8.
That's fair.
Do you know what I'd always wanted to do, right, in terms of like TV quizzes? Do you ever see Who Wants to Be a Millionaire when, I think it was the American version, I could be wrong, where the lad made it all the way to the end and he's like, he's like, he has all his lifelines and he chooses in the last question just to ring up his dad and say, "Dad, I just want to let you know that I've won the $1 million. And he goes on and wins it.
Nice.
I've always wanted to do that, but like get it wrong. I've always wanted to like completely fuck up on a game show, so I just think it'd be really funny. Like either that or what do you know what I'd be really good on? Deal or no deal, because I think if I went in with the mindset of don't get fucking greedy, you know what I mean? Like or not, or any a lot of those shows are based off greed. No, do you know what I'd love to do actually? Speaking of game shows, back to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Do you ever see when your man scammed Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
The coffin? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try that, but I do it really badly and really obviously. I want to get used to there and be like, Cian, the answer is B. I don't think it'd be really funny, like. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to go on Quiz Zone. I'm not athletic at all, but I'd love to go on Quiz Zone. I've talked about Quiz Zone in the past.
Yeah.
People my age would know it. It's it was only on like RTE for a short while, but it was really good. I always wanted to be on it growing up, but I thought it'd be really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Any other answers?
I'd be on like Deal or No Deal or something where like I'd suck at, like there are people who are better at me at at general knowledge and stuff like that. But anything I can play mind games in, anything I can like not cheat in, but like I can strategize in. I'm really good at board games because I can I'm finding that out as I'm kind of in lockdown. That's something I started doing. Because I can kind of play the people across from me and stuff like that. I'm good at that. So Deal or No Deal, I think I'd be good at because it's about using your head and about thinking smart. It's not knowing the most. Or Countdown, I'm sneaky good at as well because I'm savage at the numbers game and I write a lot, so I'm good with words as well. So I think I do all right on that.
Barry got released. What?
I'm reading the numbers.
What's that?
Countdown, like I only care about the numbers round, but I'm brilliant at like.
Yeah.
Like I'm a mathematical genius, like I'm not lying. Like maths is my thing. Like
Phil, I think we need to find a way to do a live stream Zoom of me and you in a game of Countdown. I think we need to figure that out.
Yeah, I'll be well up for that. Like.
Right, okay, we'll figure it out. I'll see what I can
do. Yeah, thanks for the question, Jimmy. And we don't hate Donegal. At Joe Stodge. So, here we go. So, does Katie Harvey want to change her opinion on my TV lights? They are now purple. They're now purple. He put a picture up of him watching the Gems of the Tivoli with the purple band around it, and it looked really cool. Katie, please tell me you've changed your mind. Please.
I have changed my mind. And
Yay!
I agree with this, right? Because I put on his Facebook, these lights actually look really good, and now he's just making me say it publicly. I've already told him I changed my mind.
Why do you use Facebook? Where are you, like 90? You use Facebook. I commented on his Facebook. He said that by mad.
Yes, I like the lights.
Yeah. But they are objectively good, Joe.
Yeah.
And thanks for the question.
Unanimous now.
Mitchell C. Yeah, it is unanimous. At Mitchell C94. This one is more for Katie Harvey. All right, Mitchell. You didn't have to state who your favorite was, but I mean that's fine. Whatever. I'm not salty about it or anything. But all three can answer. Rank the Barrytown trilogy twice. First, from a film major viewpoint, and second, personal favorite. I don't know what the difference is, but I'm going to go with number 3. I don't know if is there 3? Is there 3? Oh, it's a trilogy. Yes. So I'm going to say 3.
The Barrytown trilogy, Cian, is The Van, The Snapper, and The Commitments.
Love it.
Oh, I have. Yeah. Oh shit. I've seen one of them. Yeah. So I'm going to put The Commitments on top.
Yay.
Oh, that's the correct choice. And like for me, film point of view and personal is the same. It goes The Commitments, The Snapper, The Van.
Yeah. Agreed.
Another correct order.
Okay, that's answered.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was very easy. Thanks for the question.
Commitments is genuinely my second favorite movie after Pulp Fiction. Like I love that movie. Did you get to see them live when they were in the O2? They did the reunion tour.
No, I wish I had.
It was amazing. They still got it. Your man Andrew Strong, he still has it. Like it's fucking awesome. Like.
Yeah. Fuck. Where am I now?
Dave Bandana.
At Dave Bandana. I've been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine lately, so I'd like to know what was the most difficult puzzle of any kind that you ever solved, if any. That's a weirdly specific question. Like I'm really thrown off by it. Like, I'm really bad at puzzles. Like, anytime I'm playing like a game on PlayStation that involves any sort of strategy, I tend to struggle. So I don't think I really solve very many puzzles. But the puzzle of how to survive relegation in 2015 with Wolves, that was a puzzle that I managed to solve, which was really impressive. I don't know. Rick, any puzzles?
I hate riddles and puzzles and anything that I can't figure out or get a grasp on. I'm just like, just tell me the answer. Just tell me the answer. You're pissing me off. Just tell me the answer now.
I'm in the same boat.
But then there are certain things that I'm good at. So video games you brought up there, like Resident Evil, I'm really good with the puzzles. Like I just get it. Like it just clicks with me. So like stuff like that, and I can't wait to play Resident Evil 3 when I finish The Last of Us now. Stuff like that, I don't know why, but that just works for me. Whereas other things, like it breaks my brain. And I'm like, I don't like this feeling. Just tell me. I'm not gonna. You know the way Justy's mad for like his little puzzles and stuff. I put them up on Twitter all the time. I'm not. A lot of people are built that way. I'm not built that way. I'm like, what are the answers? Like, you've just annoyed me with a question. I don't know. I know 7 of those list of 30. So tell me the other 23. Like, and then it's fucking. It drives me insane. So I'm not very good at puzzles, Dave. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine is an excellent show. So there you go. I'm not good at puzzles. Side of your sex type. Yeah. Katie, Phil.
I'm not entirely sure how them two sentences are connected, to be honest.
I like those guys.
Or I just I love crosswords and Sudokus to the surprise of absolutely no one. I buy Take a Break regularly for the puzzles.
Yeah.
So I like solving puzzles.
Nice.
I don't know what the most difficult is. I've definitely tried a few Rubik's Cubes in the past and ended up throwing them against the wall. But I've never solved one.
What I used to do with a Rubik's Cube was I'll take all the stickers, take them off and make it perfect. And then I'll twist it left, then twist it right. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And I'll do this about 20 times until it's proper mixed up. Right, and I'll show it to somebody. Right, I'll say like, "Oh, geez, I think I can solve this." You know what I mean? Give me like, I bet you I can do this in a minute. And now I'll just go right, left, right, left, right, left. There you go, did it.
Nicely done.
So I think that pretty much covers it. Thanks for the question, Dave. At Kento CCFC, Modern Family finished up on Wednesday after a disappointing final season following a brilliant 10th season, which seemed to wrap up everything in its finale. What other shows or even wrestling storylines went on just a bit too long for you? I don't know, Katie, Phil, we'll start with you. Any answer?
No one's allowed to mention Game of Thrones. It was a perfect finale. Yeah. I loved it. All right, it tied up the story perfectly. I know people aren't going to be happy. They want to have their whole like, oh no one shouldn't end happy, and like it was a sad storyline, and they shouldn't have made such a small deal out of the White Walker.
You're talking about Game of Thrones now.
Yeah, but the whole point of Game of Thrones is that he thought about the last season of Modern Family. We're watching it now. Like, it's funny.
I like it, yeah,
it's funny. Like, it's a good finale. Like, it's a good last season. And Game of Thrones is a good last season. And it's an easy one to go to. So I'm just putting a proxy on that right now. Like, we just can't talk about that.
Mm-hmm. No, fair.
I was alright with Game of Thrones. I didn't really mind the ending. Like, I was okay with it. I wasn't like I love it or I hate it. I was kind of, yeah, it's alright. I mean, we did a podcast on it, so you probably already know if you listen. But what wrestling storylines? Do you have an answer?
I have a controversial one that you won't like, Cian. And it's weird as well because we're in the middle of it getting good again. But The Walking Dead has gone on probably too long because like it's basically taken up all of Corporate Keane's like childhood and now adulthood. But like it is 6 really good seasons of content, and I think we're in season 10 going on 11 now. There is a lot of dead weight in there that they could have killed off, whereas there are 6 of the best TV, like if they trim that down into 6 seasons or so, it'd be maybe like it'd be talked about in the same kind of reference as Game of Thrones was in terms of best series ever kind of deal, and people would be obsessed with it. But now they've gone on too long. Even though the quality's come back up, people have now lost interest in it a large part. Like you can't talk about it the way you talk about Game of Thrones, where everyone's on the same page with it now. Where like people have watched 7 series and they're so out of the loop now. That's too long for any TV show. When it's like I finished watching season 7 and it's like you don't know anything. It's like that's too long. So unfortunately, it's because it was such a rating success that it's become kind of like there's one answer that everyone can agree on though. The Simpsons is the answer to this question. Unfortunately, and then you've got Family Guy and the likes of them as well, which have kind of probably gone on too long. South Park is the only one that's kind of kept relevant throughout, like however many series they have. I'm not even big into the new content, like, but like people still love it, and people are still as into it as they ever were. But The Simpsons is the correct answer for this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm The Walking Dead could go on forever, and I'll still be happy. So I will never say The Walking Dead. And The Walking Dead's gone on so long now that it's actually a universe now. So even when the show does end, you've got spin-offs, you've got movies, games, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm delighted with how long The Walking Dead's been on air. And I'm glad they... See, the thing for me about The Walking Dead is, you mentioned the quality coming back. I like that because it like preserves the show's kind of legacy, if that makes sense. Like, if it had ended after one of the shit seasons, it would have been like, right, that was a shit ending, that's just whatever. But, you know, if you were to go back, you know, years from now and watch it, you can say, right, well, it came back again, you know what I mean? It got better. And I like that it could have, you know, I'd say The Walking Dead, when it does finally end forever, I don't want to even imagine it, but when that does happen, I think it'll have a really good ending because the writers now know what they're at. Wrestling storylines, I'm thinking like CM Punk's, like it's not even that dragged on too long. It's more so like where it ended up going. CM Punk in 2011, you know, like after because I just did my video there on the pipe bomb when I was looking at it and I was like, man, that was really exciting. And then I kind of just fizzled out, you know what I mean? But I don't think that's more to do with how they went about it, I suppose, rather than its actual length. I don't know. Katey, do you answer this or?
For me, TV show, the 70s show, should have ended when Eric left.
Oh, yes.
I really hated that final season. I hated Randy, who they brought in to fill Eric's place. I just refuse to laugh at anything he says with Jaws. He was shite.
I have this image in my head of you watching like what's meant to be like a relaxing sort of like laugh along type show, and you just got this scowl on your face the whole time, like shut the fuck up.
Or if he says something genuinely funny and you're like angrily trying to stifle a laugh, we're just like.
Also, I really hated that Jackie and Fez got together by the end. That upsets me to no end. Her and Hyde were endgame, and like they spend season after season with Fez being a creep, and like them eventually their relationship comes more like brother and sister, and you know they're finally getting on, whatever. But like they're not meant to be together. Like it just really upset me. A controversial one. A lot of people put Scrubs in this category.
Yeah, I was thinking it.
I loved the last season of Scrubs.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm the only person I've met. Well, of course, I've met me. I am me. I haven't met anyone else who likes the last season of Scrubs, but I did.
Okay, that is a controversial one, I think. I think you're going to get a bit of blowback for that. That's an interesting one, though.
Wrestling storyline. I can't think of one offhand that really, like, I suppose, like, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, I kind of got sick of.
Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
But that wasn't, like, good to start with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like it's more so a good storyline that didn't. Yeah. Did any of you ever watch Misfits?
No.
Yeah, I saw season. Came up after that.
Really good.
I don't remember it too well. But I do remember, like, you see, I think it did. I think, if I remember correctly, I loved it, then hated it once the lad who plays Darren out of Love Hate, what's his name?
Robert Sheehan.
Yes, Robert Sheehan left and got replaced with another character, and then it was like, oh, you're not him. This is really sad. And I hated it, but then I think I liked it afterwards, but I don't remember. So that could be an answer to this question.
Rudy was the guy. Who replaced him?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember I hated him at the start, but then I think I warmed to him afterwards. But then I think I was a lot younger when I watched it, so it's when you watch something when you're younger and like it doesn't age well. So I don't know how well it would age for us to watch it now.
Do you know what it was? Do you know what it was like? It was like, do you know when you watch a TV show as a kid and then all of a sudden the TV show's really successful, so they don't get rid of it, but all the main cast like grow out of the leads, so they keep like one character in, like Saved by the Bell did this with Screech and Mr. Belding, and then it's just a whole new cast in it. Like that's what Misfits did, except it was a really good adult show, and they kept like, because they had Ramsey in it at one stage, Ramsey Bolton, like I forget his real name. They had a really good A1 cast, and then they got rid of all their cast, like, and even though like there was episodes in the series after Robert Sheehan and the rest of them left that were good, and you remembered why you liked it, but it just wasn't the same, and they lost me. I think a lot of people just gave up on it. Yeah. So I think Misfits is a good answer then. Very good. But yeah, thanks for the question, Kento. At Stay Safe Rovers, which for those of you who are unaware, this is Declan. Hey.
If I was to remake the Mighty Ducks movie, but change it from hockey to football and have it based on Rovers, do you think the writers of Mighty Ducks can sue me? I am no legal expert, so I'm going to pass this over. Rick, do you think he'd get sued for that?
No, it's a different movie. It's like, it's not, if you tried to do it with the cast of Rovers, it'd be a different, like the Mighty Ducks is very much a hockey movie. Like hockey is a character in that movie. So like, no, I think you're good, Declan. I think you're safe there.
So you should do it.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'll watch.
Katey, I know you are obviously Bows fans and all that, but would you watch this movie, about Rovers, like made by Declan as well, bearing in mind, or are you too like stubborn?
No, I would absolutely watch that. Declan making a movie? Yes, I'm you. I'll help.
Oh man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Declan, I'm all on board for it. I can't wait to see it.
With Tony Kelly narrating and Rihanna playing Declan. There we go.
Yes,
I'm in.
Can't wait, man. Best of luck, Declan. Thanks for the question, by the way.
Or was Rihanna playing Tony Kelly narrating him? I can't remember what his plan was for the last thing he wrote.
Rihanna playing Tony Kelly, but Tony Kelly's playing Rihanna, and Greg Bolger's narrating. Greg Bolger's narrating while playing the role of Declan.
I'm totally in. I'm so in.
I'm very confused, but I can't wait to see it. Thank you for the question. At Irish Slam Dan, we are living. Oh, I do have an answer for this. We are living through history now. Okay, did I say that right? We are living through history now. The world will never be the same again. If you could go back to any other world-changing event in history, what would you pick, and would you change this history or let it run its course as it did? Well, it's sketchy going back in time, I'd imagine, fucking up the timeline and stuff like that. But, Katey, would you go back and change anything?
It's such an interesting question. I spent ages thinking about this. There's a really good Stephen King book called 11/22/63 about this, and it's about a guy who goes back in time to stop JFK getting shot. And it's really, really good. And they kind of touch on it at the start of the Watchmen movie as well, where an alternate reality. I'm a big believer in the butterfly effect, and that one small thing will affect everything. So I don't know if there's anything I would change just because of that.
I'll tell you what, I've got such a fucking answer for this. I'm actually like, oh man,
Cian, I don't have an answer. You be main event. I don't have a good answer. You be main event.
Phil, do you have an answer?
No.
Right. So here's my answer.
No. I'll go first because I don't want to follow a good answer.
Okay.
So, no.
I'm not even saying this is a good answer, by the way. Not to hype it up. You could disagree with me on this, but I'm so I would fucking do this if I had the opportunity.
You have a substantial answer, so I don't want to come at. Do you know when someone has a really good answer and then it's like, what do you think?
A really passionate answer.
Yeah, and you're
and yours is kind of like, I'm okay with this.
I like trees. I
don't
want to
do
do
general answer.
I don't want to do that. So I'd go back to, especially now, I'd like to go back to like 1989, 1990, like when there was a lot of positive change happening, like the Berlin Wall being ripped down. I'd love to be able to live through that with adult eyes and appreciate it. Obviously, I was alive then, but I couldn't appreciate it. And also Italian 90 as well. Wouldn't change a thing because good things were happening. Like, it seems like a great time to be in Ireland during all that going on.
Why didn't you appreciate the wall coming down? What the fuck? What, are you some sort of fascist?
I was being potty trained at the time, so like I was kind of busy.
So what?
I know, a bit
You're a toddler. Doesn't mean you have to be a racist.
Did not think that ended me being racist, but no, well, fair enough.
Do you have anything else to say? Sorry.
No. Main event. No. Do your
right.
thing.
Mine, right? Very simple, right? We go back to 2009. We go back to the Stade de France, right? The ball is played into Thierry Henry. I run onto the fucking pitch and I spear him out with his fucking football boots, right? He doesn't get to handle the ball. He doesn't get to pass to Gallas. Gallas does not get to header it into the goal, right? That does not fucking happen. And that's my answer. I'd love to know. And who knows? We could have lost on penalties, but I would love to know what would have happened had that handball not gone in. You know what I mean? What would have happened if we had won that match? What would have happened? Because remember, that was a France team on the brink of like meltdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As what happened at the World Cup. So, man, that was probably the most devastating sporting moment for me as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh no! Don't do it! Don't do it!
Cian,
What?
I have
What?
to tell you.
No!
Oh shit!
Oh no! Oh my God, tweet! Oh my God, tweet! Oh my God! Oh my God! I got a tweet! Oh, someone check on Corporate Cian! Oh no! Rowan has been added to the list of WWE releases.
Oh,
Rest in peace. My notifications, they are gone forever,
shit,
lads. But oh my God!
Instant reaction, Cian.
Phil, I mean Rick. The Fight Factory. Eric Rowan is now a possibility. Anyone else listening to this? The OTT, Titanic, well, not respect, but like fucking.
Would you go to
School of Irish
respect?
Wrestling.
Would you go to respect if they booked Eric Rowan?
Yeah, man. I would go to CHW backyard in like Iowa or wherever the fuck they're based just to see Eric Rowan. Oh my God.
What a difference an hour makes. It's like an hour ago, I will never go to respect. There are no adults in the room. It's disgraceful.
Unforgivable.
Now Rowan's on the market.
Ooh.
You know what?
Everyone says that though.
I actually.
It's Eric Rowan, Mike Chioda.
Yeah.
Chioda. It's Chioda.
Chioda?
My Chioda.
Sarah Logan.
Yeah, exactly.
Primo and Epico.
Primo and Epico are gone. Oh my God, it's a miracle.
That's like the big one. Fuck, man, Eric Rowan.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's sinking in now, lads.
Like, let's call it stage. This is so shitty what's happening.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm never watching WWE again. But, lads, if Eric, we could, in theory, do you think that somebody on this island would possibly book Harper and Rowan as a team, maybe, in like an actual stadium, and would do like a meet and greet where I could get to meet my my hero? You know. Have
you listened to the Luke Harper podcast with Chris Jericho?
I heard he talks about Eric Rowan, but I'm going to assume he said some very nice things and that he always loved him and never had any sort of dislike for him whatsoever.
No, like he doesn't slate him, like, but like I think he's happy to get away from him now. It'd just be really funny if AEW now signed Rowan and they're like, "Hey, Luke, you're never going to guess what we're going to do with you." And he's like, "For fuck's sake."
You see, what's upsetting about this though is that like you just don't know like who's going to do what. Like there's a lot of releases here. Who's going to keep wrestling? Who's going to stay in the indies? Who's going to get signed elsewhere? Like when I look at Eric Rowan, like I really hope he doesn't just say, right, I'm going to start doing a Ryback or like a fucking Alex Riley on it. I'm just going to disappear. I hope he sticks around. I hope he goes to Ireland. I hope he comes over here, man. That'd be so fucking cool.
I think Tony Khan has already sent him a text message himself. I think that guy's just going to get them in AEW. Like.
Interesting.
Man. Man, if Eric Rowan went to AEW, I'd be happy with that as well, because they can come over here too. So, even better. Win-win. AEW World Champion. fucking OTT Fight Factory Phoenix everything world champion over here, and yeah, I'm gonna think positive.
guys, if there is if there is a GoFundMe started to like get Eric Rowan.
Don't actually do a GoFundMe, please.
Not now, not now. Like when things are back to normal. Just keep it in mind. It's a hard maybe.
Oh man. Fucking hell.
Don't do a GoFundMe again, guys. I'm messing there, by the way.
that was a... Oh man.
We caught that on air. That's mad.
Wow. See, yeah, wow, fuck.
It's okay. Tell us your thoughts. Go through it. Like, what's going on?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm shocked. I was waiting for this news. Once I heard there was cuts, who's the first person I'm going to think of? Obviously, it's Eric Rowan, and he was socially distancing from WrestleMania like a champion. And what you call it? Yeah. So I mean, maybe that. Yeah, I don't know. But again, it's just you just don't know until it happens. I'm hoping if he ends up coming to Ireland and I get to meet him, that's grand. I'm happy with that. I would have liked to have seen him win the WWE World Title and prove everyone wrong, but he can do that in AEW. He can go to he could do that in Ring of Honor, Impact, everywhere. He could become a 3-time world champion in loads of different motions. You know what I mean? So, and then go back to WWE later and then take their main title. Who knows? We'll wait and see. I mean, it's better than him getting injured. You know what I mean? Like him getting injured was the worst case scenario for me because it was like he'd been injured so much up to this point. That was always my fear. But him getting released, it wasn't really a fear of mine.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It should be interesting. I'm hoping. Hopefully he goes off and gets booked in those cool places. We'll see though.
He will though, and that's the whole thing. Like you're like, all right, it's terrible for these WWE guys to lose their job, but the real people that are going to suffer are the guys who are doing okay for themselves on the indie scene, like the UK indie scene. They're the guys who are going to lose their spots. Like if I'm a UK guy who's charging 250 quid a match, let's say, like I would probably lose my spot to Eric Rowan because Eric Rowan brought in as a draw or something like that. Or any of the WWE guys, like so many indie guys who are actually going to lose out by WWE sacking this and now oversaturating the independent market.
Yeah. What I feel for is the people that like not because of contracts, but like this year in the indie scene who just managed to make it work and just managed to get full time. Like imagine you because that's a big moment in any wrestler's career. So imagine you got to that stage and now this came in. So like they're the ones you're going to say. WWE guys have been getting paid, and apparently what we're hearing as well, just to kind of like not lighten the mood, but like it's not as awful as it sounds. Like we're hearing that the financial packages they're being offered are quite generous to be released as well, so they are looking after them on the way out a little bit. And they would have been getting well paid anyway and getting a regular wage in. That's not a guarantee on the indie scene, so there are a lot of people suffering more. So like while we're at the same time, like look, people are losing their jobs. It's a horrible time during a pandemic where there's not immediate work available. That is horrible. We don't want to say that it's not. There are people that have suffered more, and we don't want to kind of like let's not forget about them as well. Like people that like if you just turned like full-time wrestler like a couple of months ago and then this kicked in, you're not going to be able to get a job again. Like you're not going to be able to like just get rehired in your old job because that's probably not there anymore, like in a lot of places. So that like it's terrific for a lot of people, and these WWE guys, they're going to be okay ultimately. Like at least the vast majority of them I can't see having any issues. So that's worth remembering too.
Am I seeing Sarah Logan? I don't want to get that wrong.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, she's gone. Yeah. Absolute madness.
Oh, I see it there. Yeah. It's wow.
Big night.
Fuck. Are we? Did I? Are we on the last question now?
We are. Like Jesus.
Man, I'm not even ready to podcast. But we'll go through this last question. Oh, by the way, Dan has been sending in a lot of really good questions over the last while. I just feel that's worth a mention.
Yeah,
I was thinking about my answer to that one. At Spadino 90 though, of course.
Yeah,
with the main event. €1 million. Oh my god. €1 million. But a false Rory Gulak style cancellation scandal gets out on Twitter about you, which everyone believes, and you can't convince them otherwise. Only you will ever know it's a lie. I'm absolutely not taking that money.
Really?
Absolutely not. Yeah, like Rory Gulak level.
Oh yeah, I know. Obviously, look, like these are all miserable things that we're going through. Like, but here's where I'm at. Right, it's happening on Twitter. Who do I care about that? Like, is seeing that? My family won't see it. My friends won't see it. People that are in my life won't see it. You know, like people that like ultimately, you know what I mean? Like, and also people that are like, I know a lot of the people that I care about on Twitter. They'd be my friends, so I'd be able to talk to them.
No. They wouldn't. They would not change their mind. That's the point of this. Everyone would believe that this was something you did. Even your friends. If your family see it, wait, what's this? Hang on, let me just clarify. Gets out on Twitter, yeah. So your family might not see it, but like your friends, they see it and they would believe it because that's the rules of the question.
No, but then like also as well, like you have to take in like personal relationships into account and stuff like that. He didn't say everyone believes it. It's just like Twitter, like Twitter won't believe it. You're getting cancelled on Twitter. If I got cancelled on Twitter, I wouldn't care. Like it wouldn't bother me. Also as well, like it's like there's a very simple like result to cancellation. Like if it's not gonna like if it doesn't affect your income, you can just go, I'm not cancelled. Do a Tessa Blanchard on it and go no, and then just people are like, oh well, we're kind of powerless on this. And then, like, what are they going to take away from me? Do you know what I mean? That, like, I'm not kind of like, you know, they're not going to take my job away from me. They're not going to take my future plans away from me. They're not going to take my family away from me. They're not going to take, like, and if any of my friends didn't believe me, then were they that close to begin with? So, like, yeah, I'd take the money, I'd take the house, and I'd make new friends because I know I'm not that person. So, and I'd
you make new friends, but you wouldn't be able to make them on Twitter. You'd be like,
I'm okay with that.
Use Facebook.
Yeah, just do Katey on it and go Facebook.
MySpace was really good. I recommend we bring that back.
me and Tom would go for points.
No, I'm definitely not. You haven't changed your mind in the slightest. Katey, what stance are you taking on this?
€1 million is not enough money in the world for that.
That's exactly. It's not a minor thing. If it was something more minor, I'd get you. But like Rory, I don't think we can talk about it in detail. If you know, you know. Like a Rory Gulak thing is quite a thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And
if people believe that, like,
head or something. It's like, look, where people are nosy. I Google nearly everyone I meet now at this stage. Imagine Googling that and that comes up like, no, €1 million not enough. No, would not take.
I'm also not my real name though as well. So like if you googled Rick Nash and you found like Rick Nash did all this, then it's like I can just like leave Rick Nash behind tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, but would you not rather not have to do that? Like
yeah, but I'd also like have $1 million and a house and a nice house at that. And I'd still have my job and a way of like supplying a life. If it broke on Twitter, I have loads of friends in work and stuff like that. So any friends I lost, I could make up for, and I'd have a really sweet house to like go and hang out with them in. So like no, I think I'd be okay with that. I just don't see Twitter as, because again it doesn't play into anything that I do. Like maybe at one stage Low Blows it would have, but I'm kind of like, this is more of a hobby now to me than anything. I'd be upset that like maybe the podcast couldn't go ahead, but like it'd be upsetting, but I'd live and I'd manage and I'd take a sweet house for that. Like yeah, I would. I don't put that much stock in Twitter because I don't need to. I'm not in a position where I need to. Whereas like for say like professional wrestlers like Rory Gulak, that's you done. Like that's your dream done.
Did your microphone plug out? I think your microphone plugged out.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Oh no. Hello?
Can you hear me?
He's been cancelled.
Oh shit.
Wait, like so the audience will be able to hear me.
Man,
but you won't.
Like, I zoned out because it just dawned on me that Eric Rowan is now no longer a part of the WWE roster. Man, who's like? But then there's also no like WWE that I really care about. You know, while there's no fucking arenas and stuff. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Still though,
can you hear me?
It's a weird thing. It's a weird time.
Like, should we try get Eric Rowan to fight back?
Yeah, God, he's so good.
Like, I'm not his biggest fan like you are. This is like, let's help the guy out. He's recently probably just lost his job. He could do with the extra payday.
Exactly.
everyone is fantasy booking on Twitter, and someone just made a really good point where they're like, "Yes, we're all fantasy booking with no shows in the foreseeable future." So it's like they don't even have like that to look forward to. You know what I mean? That's what's so heartbreaking about it. I think.
Yeah.
Like they can't make plans now because there are no plans to make.
Man, like why does this have to happen? I'm so fucking sad.
We're all seven grief right now on this podcast.
Right. If Rick's not coming back, I want to end this on a delightful note, right? Okay, look, Eric Rowan may have just got released, and there might be no wrestling shows for fucking forever, right? And all this shit's happening, wrestlers are losing their jobs, and shit's going down. But Matt Skyler had a grand old time. So, I mean, when you actually weigh up the positives and negatives, I will take the positives. And, bye.
Guys, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm still here.
Yeah, Rick, apparently Rick said he can